are.
Yeah, I got a shelter in place. Now, luckily for me, the side hustle I'm starting tomorrow, I'm just gonna be in front of my computer, but it's like they have times limits on me, so I got to get started at this time to this time, and if I stay longer, then they start penalizing me because they only want to pay you for a certain amount of time. It's kind of weird.
Is it that tutoring thing that you said you were
Yep,
doing?
tutoring online.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Used to be. I did this 8 years ago. You used to go to people's houses, but or meet up at like libraries and schools, but these days, no. Thank you, internet. But with that being said, we're here with another episode of BS Busters. I'm joined by, um, well, the usual suspects. We'll let the lady go first. So, go ahead.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I'm Joy Eli Moonside with the Beavis Hustler Smith.
Or meet up at.
Thankfully, we are not suffering from cabin fever.
That's right. We are we are in fact not suffering from cabin fever. Um, Kenoshi.
This is Kenoshi Abominito. Here to say, glad to be on another one of the BS Busters.
All right then. So you might ask yourself, what is this? What is this cast about? Well, I mean, I was gonna do a fun cast, but I mean, how much fun can you have when you're stuck inside your house? Yeah, you can go outside and take a walk, but it's not like you can go to the mall or watch a movie in a movie theater because most of them are closed right now, if not all of them.
And don't forget, hobby shops and other places are kind of SOL.
can't go to the can't go to the library, can't go to a hobby shop, um, can't even go to a bookstore really. Um, Point is that it's not a fun time for anybody really. But with that being said, there's a way out, and that is basically doing things around your house or for your own entertainment. So this cast is just us telling you what we're doing to pass the time and not go stir crazy.
As I said, we are not fever yet.
Yeah, I mean, because I have a dog, but I mean, you can only play with your dog so long. Um, I can only scratch so many bellies and and scratch behind their ears and walk my dog so much until even that gets boring. So with that being said, what games have you guys been playing in order to pass the time? Don't everybody jump in at one time.
I'm
Well,
playing. I've been
hey,
playing
we
Dragon
probably are.
Ball. Go ahead.
So you've been playing Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I've been playing Dragon Ball Z, Fighter Z,
All right.
and some Borderlands 3.
All right. How far are you into Borderlands 3?
I don't know. I'd say, let's see. I just got the. I just finished meeting meeting Maya, and then after
So you're on Athena's.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, you have a few more chapters to go until you get to Eden 6, where
Yeah.
you will meet one of the most interesting characters ever. I'm just gonna tell you his name, but once you meet him and hear him talk, you're gonna swear it's Ice-T from uh, from Law and Order SVU doing the voice, but it isn't. Balix.
Oh.
Balix the bear. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But once you meet him, you're gonna be like, God damn, that's ridiculous. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've also dug into my
Archives.
yeah, into my back catalog of games. Played some old stuff. Um, been having fun with that, but that. But we're not talking about what I've been playing. We're talking about what you've been playing. So, anything else you've been playing?
Well, that's about it.
All right. Jewel, what you been playing?
Chris, for me, I've been going through some. I've been going through some of my and well, found Final Fantasy Explorers for the 3DS,
Ugh.
and let me just say, I know how MMO like. Ugh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. When I saw that game, I was like, oh man, I'm so excited. We're finally getting a Final Fantasy on a Nintendo console. But then, like, my past self popped out from a time portal and slapped the shit out of me and said, "Hey, remember Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles?" I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. This is Square Enix might try to fuck us as Nintendo gamers." So I was like, "No, no, I'm good."
Yeah, this one was given to me for a gift.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, yeah. I started to buy that game back in the day. I was like, yeah, man. And then I looked at it. I'm like, no, no.
I'll say it isn't too bad, but gods, there's stuff that you could do better.
Yeah, it's not the Final Fantasy that we wanted. You know, it's like Square Enix just keeps on releasing Final Fantasy games that people don't want on Nintendo consoles. It's like, look, we want Final Fantasy games like we had back in the day. You know, interesting story, gameplay. We want Final Fantasy games like Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, but instead we get Final Fantasy 7 FU
Final Fantasy 7.
15.
Final Fantasy 7. Well, at least we didn't get Final Fantasy 15 because that game looks like trash.
Yeah, and I'll keep saying it because nobody else except me, in a sense, Final Fantasy 7R or 7F is Kingdom Hearts without the Disney milk.
Yeah, and I mean that's still kind of shitty. So, um,
Oof.
yeah. Well, I've never been a huge fan of Final Fantasy. Of Final Fantasy with the or should I say, I've never been a huge fan of um, Kingdom Hearts. So
Yeah, that's how it's Kingdom Hearts without the Disney milk.
yeah, I've never been a huge fan of that franchise. So I'm like, I don't really, I'm not like,
Yeah, but then again, it made me appreciate another game of Final Fantasy that, while I know it's like we wanted, it's not too bad. The Rhythm Final Fantasy it's a music game.
all right, okay,
And of course, I got the most recent Final Fantasy is the Final Fantasy 4 for the 3DS.
okay, all right.
I mean, yes, my goof.
Uh, I mean, to be fair, I like Final Fantasy. I kind of grew up with that franchise, so I'm kind of a fanboy of the franchise. But I do not like what Square Enix has been doing to the franchise since then, which is just
Yeah, that's what got me reliving some of the games to see how it's going so far. As in, look at some of the good stuff, and some of the entertaining.
fair enough. Fair enough. Play anything else aside from Final Fantasy, if you will?
I've been dabbing into some. We're trying to get some new RPGs lately, so if it, I at least got one. I at least got one new one. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Anything else? Anyone else been? Okay, so I guess it's my turn. I've been playing a lot of Borderlands.
Why am I not surprised?
A lot of Borderlands. Well, I'm kind of a fan of the franchise. I like it. I like it a lot. Even though I will be the first one to tell you it's not as good as it's not as good as Borderlands 2. Even though there's a lot of quality of life improvements to the overall game, it's not quite as good as Borderlands 2. Yeah, I stand by that statement. I know some people are going to get mad when they hear it, but I don't care. I don't care if people don't like it.
Oh yeah, my most recent one would be the State. That was the one I was remembering. My goof.
That's okay. I mean, let's see. What else have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of old stuff. I recently went into my backstash and started playing Baten Kaitos, which I'm a fanboy of that game for some odd reason. Well, because it's good, but for some odd reason, I'm a huge fan of that title. Been having tons of fun with it. Let's see what else. I've been playing. Let's see. I've been playing Final Fantasy 6 a little bit.
Good. I was about to pick a little APB. I mean ATB.
No, it's pretty good. I mean, here's the thing about Final Fantasy.
I was about to follow the bravest.
I don't really. I'm not feeling it with that game.
I was a little worried. I understand why.
Not a big fan of I don't really like spin-offs with my Final Fantasy, if you get my drift.
Of course.
Like I'm not a spin-off type person when it comes to games. I know some people will get angry with me when they hear that, but I don't like it. I don't like spin-offs with my games. You know, give me a game, make it do what you want it to do, but don't give me spin-offs. I don't like spin-offs. You know.
Yeah.
At least with like RPGs. I don't like spin-offs with RPGs.
Why don't you like spin-offs?
With RPGs?
Yeah.
Because more often than not, the resources that could have been spent to make a brand new game, they spent it on a fucking spin-off, which is just a waste of time in my opinion. And I know some people will get angry when they hear that because, people like getting mad about shit, but that's just how I feel. I don't like it. I don't like because once again, the resources that could have been spent on, making a new game, you spent on a spin-off. And half the time the spin-off doesn't really do as well as the main baseline game. So you just wasted a whole bunch of time on some bullshit that no one wanted. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. I mean, there's Paper Mario, which is technically a spin-off of the Mario series. And those are fine. They get the job done, but
Your mileage may vary for some.
yeah. Like, for me, I'm one of those people who, when I play a game for a very specific reason. Like, there's a certain thing that does for me that I'm not getting from other games. Case in point, right? Like, I play an RPG because, I want that RPG experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want, I play a beat-em-up because I want a beat-em-up experience. Now, I'm not saying that every spin-off is gonna suck or every spin-off is good. Some spin-offs are actually better than the base property they're based upon. Case in point,
Shin Megami into Persona.
eh, I wouldn't go that far. I would say that with Shin Megami Tensei, one is more accessible than the other. Like Shin Megami Tensei, for Joe Blow average gamer, like someone who doesn't want to put in all that time to really get good, is great for people like that. Now, if you want a harder RPG, Shin Megami Tensei is a little on the easy side. It's a little too easy in some cases. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a hard game to play. And I know some people are gonna get mad about that, but Shin Megami Tensei's never been a hard game. It's not like, oh my god, this game's so difficult. It's like, it's okay. Shin Megami Tensei, or Megaten as they call it. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not,
Impossible.
No. Now, Persona is easier than Shin Megami Tensei, and that's just the way it is. Some people might not like it, but that's just the way that franchise rolls. So, some people aren't happy about that. Some people love it. I personally am one of those people that's like, I could take it either way.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from.
But yeah, I've been playing some old stuff like that. I've also been going into my old Steam library, not just older games that I uninstalled. Been going back and playing some of them. I've been playing some Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. I've been playing some Shadow Warrior. Been playing some Shadow Man. Just older stuff that, I played, I beat, and then I came back to it. So, this is the perfect time to get back into your old library and try some old stuff,
Yeah.
Played Okami HD again. Beat it again. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. No comments here. No one has any suggestions. So basically, the big thing that I've been doing is in terms of also playing is I've been getting into some of my older, like more off-color, off-beat tabletop games. I've been playing those digitally with friends. Like I recently played Shadowrun, like I want to say Tuesday or Monday, with some friends of mine online, and it was fun. It went a little off rails towards the end because one character decided, hey, we're gonna hit it with a what?
They did something pretty dumb, didn't they?
Yeah, they tried to fight a dragon, and anyone who knows anything about Shadowrun, like dragons are like some of the most high tier.
You usually mess with a dragon unless you got some really good help.
Well, they're very high tier. So, if they show up, it's not going to be good. Because they're so damn high tier. But yeah, like basically, if I had to explain how dragons are in Shadowrun, go and talk to someone who's played Star Wars, the role-playing game, like the tabletop role-playing game, where someone brings up Yoda, Luke, the Emperor, or Darth Vader. if you're playing a game and those characters are in the story and you try to go after them, you will die.
Your rear end is grass.
Yeah, your ass is grass and they're the lawnmower. It's not a smart move. Now I have played tabletop games where someone tried to do that. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna take down Darth Vader." Like, I'm like, why would you do that?
Good luck with that.
See, now we have Rogue One, which shows you just how fucking badass Darth Vader was. But we didn't have Rogue One back in the day, so they just had to imagine it. But it still was just ridiculous, just how bad shit was. Let's see, what else? Yeah, that was fun. Anything else you guys wanna? You guys been doing to get past it? Anything you've been playing? I mean, watching, if you will.
Nah, I just
Well-
watch YouTube videos and
Well, if anything,
listen to
I'm
podcasts.
starting to get into trying to be a DM.
Oh, that's cool. I've
So
been.
if anything, trying to be careful of which event with other than the basics.
I've been watching. I've been binging stuff on with the various streaming services I subscribe to. So Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu. I mean, if you're streaming, this is like the perfect time to
Yeah, this is definitely
binge.
perfect. Yeah.
I mean, because they got all types of shit, man. They got, you can, if you're a Star Trek fan, they got Star Trek on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. Well, I don't think Hulu, but definitely Netflix and Amazon. It's great. And if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can go on YouTube and watch and just binge Bob Ross's The Joy of Painting.
I'm sorry, but what was I heard?
You can binge Bob Ross's The Joy of Painting. So
You
then
need to
too-
go and
Then you too can learn the joy of painting with Bob Ross.
you need to go to the Red.
and his wet on wet painting technique. Well, I mean, like, let me put it this way: it's very cathartic to watch Bob Ross's The Joy of Painting, where he's like, I learned this from Bill Alexander, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna paint some trees, and you're like, man, that ain't no damn tree. He's like, no, wait, it's like, oh my god, it is a tree. It's like, we're gonna put a mountain in here. It's like, no, you're not. And then he's like, psh. It's like, what? Oh shit, that is a mountain. It's like magic. So TS Nintendo Gamer says hi. He says he's spending a lot of time on the Switch, Wii, and the 3DS. So no Wii U action? No, no Wii U action.
Very.
I mean, to be fair, if you have a Wii U, you also have a Wii, so it's like if you have a
Yeah.
Wii, you also have a GameCube. Which, I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I love a console that's backwards compatible. I don't like consoles
Yes.
that are not backwards compatible. I think that's stupid. Like, because to me, it feels like you're basically saying, to hell with you, we want you to spend more money on shit again. We want you to rebuy shit that you already own.
And as much for enjoying the Switch for what it is, that was a wrong move that you can't move your old new system.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that. And I understand, like, physically you can't have the same media, but for games that are downloaded, there's no reason for a game that's virtually the same across both platforms for you
There's
to have
no
to
reason
pay
yeah.
all that money for the same shit. That's just not cool to me.
Yeah, or in the case of Legend of Zelda and certain other games.
Yeah, I know some people are gonna get mad at me when they hear that, but that's just how I feel. I know people don't like that. They want, they want you to spend the same amount of money on everything. But I was like, nah, I don't feel comfortable with that. So that's my own personal opinion. And if you don't like it, too bad. So yeah, I've been watching old TV shows, binging movies. Like I watched the new Spencer, which is a remake of an old show that used to come on back in the day, and I enjoyed it. It's not as good as the original show because the original show had Avery Brooks, who I call my favorite TV dad because he basically is a TV dad from Star Trek. Damn sure the best captain on Star Trek ever. But, yeah, he's better, yeah, I said it. He's better than Jean-Luc Picard. He's better than James T. Kirk. He's better than Catherine Janeway. And whoever the fuck they have in that new Star Trek shit. He's better than all of them. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. You guys been reading anything? You guys been doing any work?
Well, I did some, I had an old laptop that I put Linux on, and I've been kind of learning that. I'm also planning on building a home server. A home server in this summer. That's going to be a big summer project, so I've been looking into some of that. But other than that, not too much.
That's cool. I have not been doing any of that. I have been basically just, watching movies. I've been reading a lot of books, thanks to the power of Kindle Unlimited, where you can basically download 10 books at a time. I've just been reading like tons and tons of books. And I've been enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that lets me essentially just read tons and tons of stuff at one time, I'm cool with. So, I guess we can get to some of these free topics. Free topics! Free topics! Free topics!
Goodness.
Okay, so Saints Row 4 has been re-released. Has been released yet again on another system, and this time it's the Nintendo Switch. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Good for them.
All right.
I mean, if you have a Nintendo Switch, if that's the only console you have, I mean,
yeah,
you get to experience that game.
I don't know, man. Personally, I'm just tired of remasters and re-releases on this system.
Yeah, it's
like the first year.
I mean, I knew it was gonna be the dumping ground for a lot of this stuff.
I mean, the first year I could understand it. I'm like, okay, every console, the first year I can understand. You're seeing a lot of games because back in the day, before ports were really the big thing, it was the big thing back in the 4th and 5th gen was you would see a lot of games that were like marginally looked like they could have been on the last gen hardware, on the third from the third gen to the 4th gen. Like the early SNES, Sega Genesis games looked like slightly better looking 8-bit games, like 12-bit games. And then like towards the middle of the life cycle of the consoles, when you started seeing the games, it was like, oh shit, like really you can do that? And yet now all we're seeing is just a whole bunch of like ports of shit that came out last gen for full price. It's not even like, it's $50, it's $40, $60 for a game that you can get on last gen hardware that's functionally the same game for like 10, 15 bucks. Online, you can just order it, or you can get it digitally for like 20 or 30. I mean, it's ridiculous how they take advantage of people.
It's a real, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm even looking at Platinum here with this Wonderful 101 remastered. I'm looking at you, man. I'm looking at you, Kamiya. All right, so let's see. Keep it moving. Here's a question: how linearity can make the Breath of the Wild 2 a great experience? Agree, disagree, expound upon that statement.
What was that? I was trying to hear you.
How do you feel linearity could make Breath of the Wild sequel a great experience? Do you agree, disagree, and whichever stance you take, could you expound upon your stance?
Not sure about that one.
What?
I'm not entirely sure about it. Of the lack of knowledge of the series.
I guess it could, but then you'd be taking away the whole meaning of the name, Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
Kind of have to call it something else, I guess.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
that's
they could.
nice.
Like some people, Breath of the Wild for them is like the best Legend of Zelda game ever. But a lot of the people that I've talked to, who they're like, it's the best Legend of Zelda game ever. It's the only Legend of Zelda game they ever played.
oh, I get you now.
So I kind of am like, I don't really take your opinion seriously.
Okay, in that, if anything, I see possibilities of seeing Breath of the Wild 2 being really good, but I at least hope for at least key items that you could actually use outside the dungeons.
Yeah,
Real dungeons.
yeah.
And at least give us more features to play with and abuse at least. That's the minimum I'm asking for.
Yeah, for me, Breath of the Wild was just boring as fuck. It was boring. It was a boring game. You know.
Can I at least get the minimum of those for?
And once I got past the hype and went back and played it again, I'm like, this game is so fucking boring. Hopefully they can fix that with the next one and actually make it like have real dungeons in it, which I would like. Real actual fucking dungeons and not, do whatever you want. It's your world.
Yeah, some people just don't like that.
I mean, certain games do excel from having that open world experience, but other games, I'm like, I really don't like. Like, I don't play a Legend of Zelda game. I play a Legend of Zelda games for the epic experience, for the story, for the dungeon design, and the puzzles and puzzle solving. That's why I play Legend of Zelda games. I don't play Legend of Zelda games for, whatever the fuck they were trying to do in Breath of the Wild. And I know a lot of people like that, but I'm not one of them. Okay, so there you go.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I know some people will disagree, and that is their opinion. They're allowed to disagree.
Yeah, though, if anything, it's kind of sad knowing that your only experience with Legend of Zelda is with the most famous of the 3D Legend of Zeldas,
Not really. I would say the most famous of 3D Legend of Zeldas is Ocarina of Time.
I said recent,
Oh,
which
well,
would be the
I mean,
Breath of the Wild.
you know, here's what I'll say about the Legend of Zelda series. Okay, if you're going around saying that the best Legend of Zelda is the only one you played, your opinion is how can I put this? Your opinion's basically invalid because you don't have enough experience to really make that statement with any real confidence. It comes across
Yeah.
it comes across as arrogant and conceited to think that you have the definitive opinion on a subject when you don't have enough information to correctly form that opinion. For example, if you said the
Yeah,
best burger
I mean-
you ever had was a McDonald's burger, and
Oh boy.
not only
that would be a
that,
big mess.
you're like, McDonald's, this is the best hamburger ever, and it was a big burger from McDonald's, and that's the only burger you've ever had, the only burger you've ever eaten. I'm not going to take your opinion on burgers very seriously because that's the only one you've had. Now, that doesn't mean you aren't entitled to that opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions, but that doesn't mean I have to give your opinion any credence or weight, which I don't, because you're only just, that's your only experience. It's like someone saying, man, this is the best book ever, but that's the only book you've ever read. It's like, I can't take you seriously if that's the only book you ever read.
Though, if anything, for reference, I've played the first Legend of Zelda, Return of Link, Link to the Past, a little in Ocarina of Time, which I didn't get far in. And it took years before I get into another Legend of Zelda, which would be Oracle games, the Minish Cap, and Four Swords Adventures, and Triforce Heroes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about Legend of
And
Zelda.
Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, let me give you my Legend of Zelda credentials. I've played all of them. I've played the original Legend of Zelda, beat it. Legend of Zelda 2, beat it. Legend of Zelda 3, aka Link to the Past, arguably one of the best Legend of Zelda games ever made, also beat it. Ocarina of Time, beat it. Majora's Mask, beat it. Wind Waker, beat it. When I say beat it, I also 100% of these games. I didn't just get to the end. Found all the heart pieces, perfect run, didn't die on any of them. See what else. Twilight Princess, love that game, beat it.
For me, the only challenge I got is
Oracle of Ages and Seasons, beat it. Beat those games 3 times, because you gotta beat both of them once, then get the code, and then start a new game on either one, and then get the real ending, which shows you that it's actually a prequel for Link's Awakening. Also beat that game without dying. The original Link's Awakening, not that bullshit ass remake they made that was a 3DS game put on the Switch. But also beat that game. Let's see what else. The spin-off titles. I beat Tingle's Adventure.
single games.
Yeah. The 2 of them were like these spin-off Game Boy Advance things you could play with Wind Waker, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the game that only came out in Japan that is about Tingle. It's actually pretty cool. And it tells you why Tingle is always dressed up like a fairy. It's not because he's gay, folks. Really, it's not
He's
because
trying
he's
to
gay.
grab some tail.
He's trying to hook up with a hot fairy. Okay, there you go. Spoiled the game for you. Let's see what else. Linked. Let's see what. The 2 Four Sword games. Minish Cap. Link Between Worlds, which I'm not a huge fan of, but some people love it.
It's not bad, but
It's not bad. It's just the gameplay design of this open-ended gameplay design kind of fucks up the Zelda formula, which makes it not as fun. Hyrule Heroes is the one that I didn't play, the one where you play dress up. I was like, fuck this game. So I didn't get that game. I heard it was
Hey, I played
okay.
Triforce Heroes. It's weird, but
yeah,
it's
I heard it
not
was
bad.
okay, but I was like, nah, I don't really want to play a Legend. I want traditional or not at all. Then I did Breath of the Wild, which, like I said, I've beaten that game 3 times. The first time I 100%ed it on the health side. The second time I 100%ed it on the stamina side. And the third time I played it, I just got off the Great Plateau and then fought my way into Hyrule Castle and fought Gandalf that way without doing any of the temples or anything. Not temples, Hyrule Megazords. And it's not that good of a game. I know people love it because they don't like actually having structure or, gated progression or anything like that. But I like structure and gated progression in my Legend of Zelda games, so I was not a fan of it. But hey, to each his own. Let's keep it moving. Any other topics we have? I think we can all agree that I don't think we're gonna get how can I put this? I don't think we're ever going to get a I don't think we're ever going to get Half-Life 3.
I was about to say 2, and then they'll skip the 4, more likely. I mean,
I don't think
what?
we're going to get that anytime soon.
what's their fear with the number 3?
Yeah, I just don't think we're ever going to get that. And if you can deal with that, then good for you.
Yeah, but as I said, makes me wonder, what's their fear of the number 3?
I don't know, man.
I think it's just because they're making so much money off of Steam, they don't really feel the need to make that game, maybe. Or maybe they just lost interest in the Half-Life franchise.
Yeah, but here's the thing: since they like making
More
money,
likely they lost their writers.
Since they like making money off of Steam, they could make more money if they said, "Hey, you want a new
Yep.
you want a new Half-Life? Well, guess what? You can play it. It's coming out on Steam, and it's a Steam exclusive for the next 2 years. There were people who would get a new computer just so that they could play Half-Life 3.
The Church of Steam would erupt and be heard for miles.
Well, it's called the Church of Gaben, but I get what you're saying. Okay, people would go out of their way to get for a new Half-Life. Half-Life 3? Hell yeah, son.
Left 4 Dead.
Maybe not so much for Left 4 Dead 3 because that game's mostly squad-based gameplay. It's you're hooked up into a server and shit like that. But
Yeah, I getcha. I mean, there's other games that could use a 3.
Let's see. Like I said, Half-Life 3, Left 4 Dead 3, Portal 3.
Would you want Team
Fortress 3? I'm not a big Team Fortress fan. And I don't really like Counter-Strike either, so...
Counter-Strike's the last on that list I would want 3s on.
No, I mean I know that.
So if anything,
fans...
T4. Yeah, that was anything I was saying. He's got me laughing at some of the stuff that they do.
Well, the thing is, they're fans of those franchises, but I personally just don't. I'm not a big fan of them. Like I'm like, I don't really care that much about Team Fortress or Counter Strike. Well, I mean, I played Counter Strike back in the day, but it was like an itch that had to be scratched, and once I scratched it, I don't want to play it again. If you get my drift.
That's the quickest cure for an itch I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, the way I play some games, some games I will religiously play and play and play and play and play until that itch is scratched, and then I don't want to play it anymore. Or not the game itself, but that style of game. Like, the reason I never got into Monster Hunter is because that itch was scratched when I was in college, and I played so much Phantasy Star Online that I broke the clock. I maxed out the clock, the playtime clock. So it's maxed out at like 999 hours, 60 minutes, and 60 seconds. It's maxed out. Like, it can't go any further.
That's usually a sign that a game is usually you win.
No, that's a sign that I played too much of this damn game. But that's just how it was. I played way too much. And here's the thing. I love Phantasy Star Online, but I played so much of it that I maxed out the clock on it. So, you know.
That's impressive.
And here's the thing. So basically, I played over 1,000 hours of Phantasy Star Online when I was in college. Okay. And before someone says, hey, did you have time to get to class? Look, I graduated in 3 years with a double bachelor's in political science and sociology. So basically, when I had a little bit of free time, I was playing that game. That was my free time killer. I was playing that shit. And I spent way too much time on that shit. I really did. I'll be the first person to admit it. But for some reason, I loved it. I love that game so much. And even to this day, I'll sometimes go and find that old memory card and play that game, and I really like it. Don't know why, I just do. Any time wasters you played back in the day, Kenoshi?
Let's see. What game did I play religiously back in the day? I remember when I was, let's see, what game? I remember when I was like, this is when the game first came out. I wasted a lot of time with Kingdom Hearts, the first game. I think I was like 13 or 14 at the time the game came. 12, 13, so I was pretty young. So, yeah, I wasted a lot of time with that game, because, again, that was back in the day when we didn't have the money to get a lot of games throughout the year. You know, you could only get like 1 or 2 games throughout the year.
Yeah, you played the shit out of that one game.
Yeah.
You played it until you loved it. Even if you hated it initially, you'd play it until you loved it. It's like, it's not that bad. You just have Munchausen syndrome. It's not that bad. It's not a steaming pile of shit. It's really good. That's how it was back in the day. Oh, I'll tell you another game that I used to play the shit out of. GTA, San Andreas, and Vice City. I mean, I played those 2 games so much back in the day. I'd play them with cheats too. Right? Like, I played GTA San Andreas with cheats so much, I memorized the cheat. Muscle memory. Memorized the cheat. Like, even now, if I play that game on PS2, I know exactly how to cheat, how to enter in the cheat so that you get maxed out health and armor and the best weapons. It's true.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, that's not going to really help you because a lot of those missions are still really hard. But I figured out how to break the game. Like, there's this part in the game where you have to run down this pimp named Jizzy B, voiced by the late Charlie Murphy. And you can cheat in the game if before you do the meeting that ends with you trying to kill him, if you before he can drive off, if you shoot the tires of his car out, so then he basically gets in a car where the tires are flat, so he can't go that far. It's actually really easy to take him out. Like shit like that. Or doing the hunter missions in GTA where you dress up like a police officer and go around killing people who have done fucked up shit, so you hunt them down. One of the cheapest ways to do this is to steal a military helicopter in the game that has rocket launchers, so the people are in their vehicles. You can just target, you can lock in on them with the homing rockets and blow them the fuck up. Yeah, that's the type of fucked up shit.
That is some broken.
Yeah, that's kind of like my weakness is that I like That's my cathartic
You like to break.
release. Well, no, that's just my cathartic release for certain games. My cathartic release for certain games, especially GTA, is well, murdering the shit out of people. In GTA, not in real life, because that would be wrong. So wrong. But yeah, I think we can keep it moving to the next topic. So with all that being said, about what's been going on, with everything we've learned about the holdups in manufacturing, do you think that even now that any of these new games are going to be coming out? These new systems are going to be coming out this year?
I think these systems are going to get pushed back. It'd be kind of dumb because I don't think people are going to have a lot of money come around Christmas time.
And even if they do have money, would they spend it on this shit?
Probably.
Really? You think someone would say, hey, yeah, I don't have money for groceries. Like, I have money and I can either spend it on groceries or a new video game system.
I've seen people
Priority
do dumb shit
food.
with money.
Oh God!
We've all known those people.
Of what I've seen in Florida recently.
Look, during the recession, right? During the 2008 recession, the iPhone was a hot commodity back then, right?
Yeah.
Every year, people were buying new iPhones.
Yeah, but a lot of those people weren't spending. A lot of those people weren't buying that shit outright. They were getting under contract.
Yeah, still, I mean, you're still locked in a contract. Thus, spending more money than you think you're spending more money than you think you are with those contracts. But whatever. I mean, maybe not. If who knows? They might have a crazy contract deal like they did with the Xbox 360 back in the day, or I don't know. Because these consoles are going to be so much money.
Okay, if that's your, I mean, I don't think people. I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, but I try to think the best of people sometimes, especially in times of crisis when a lot of people are stupid and do stupid shit.
I was about to say, if you care for stupid,
Honestly, I think most people will probably be like, well, I'm fine with the console I have right now. I have plenty of games to play.
Yeah.
But I think there will be a fair amount of stupid people who will blow the little money they have on these new games.
Okay, that's a fair point. I mean, personally, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm pretty good money-wise, right? Like, the only reason I'm even doing this tutoring thing was mostly because I'm just fucking bored. Because the little bit of money I'm getting out of it is like, I mean, it's like, it's not even that I can go out and eat because everything's quarantined with it. And, everything I really need is in my house. I have a freezer full of food. I have a garage full of dry goods. I get my toilet paper towels, and paper goods and plastic goods from Costco, so I have more than I could ever use. So I'm good in that regard, but it's just I'm bored. it's like I can only play games for so long. I can only sleep for so long. So, this way I can do something to help somebody out, even if it's just tutoring someone online. But with that being said, anyone have any topics that they want to bring up to the podcast before we give our sign-offs and wrap things up?
Well, I was gonna say he's been eating you lately.
What?
Was saying lately.
You cut out before you finished. What?
What's eating at you lately? Because I recently found out that a little south where I'm at.
You cut out again. What were you saying?
I was saying things are looking bad at my end, and I'm trying to sane.
I mean, it's not that bad where I am, but mostly because, I mean, people know how to act around here, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Now that's relatively speaking. That's with a big, that's big air quotes. No, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, actually, there's a lot of people on the road because a lot of people are still working where I am. But you have to remember, the big industry in the DC metropolitan area is the government. And, the government's still open. So,
Which
people
I'm
are
not
still
surprised
working.
about.
Yeah, people are still working. So, that's just how it is where I am. Plus, people still got to eat, so grocery stores are still open.
Found out was open, even though they're in places are closed.
Yeah. Matter of fact, like the people who, treat the water, do utilities, so garbage people, that's basic shit that needs to stay open, the cops. Now, I'll tell you some place that should have been closed a month ago and was still trying to do shit. GameStop.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Those-
you're gonna point you.
They're just trying to do everything they can to stay relevant.
They're like, hey guys, we should stay
So-
open. Hey guys, you should stay open because
We got Doritos. We got Mountain Dew.
no, they were like, we should stay open because we're essential. It's like, no, you're not. Groceries are essential. Water is essential. Trash collection is essential. The people who treat your water so that when you when you turn the tap, you get clean water. That shit's essential. You buying even if you're someone who's like, if you're one of those people who I only buy games that are physical, like I only buy games that are physical release. Even
That is not essential.
Even just the physical release people, like, and I hate to break this to people, even just the physical release people, there's so many other ways that you can, that you can get your hands on those types of games. Like you can order them off of Amazon, various smaller retailers, through FedEx and UPS and shit like that. You get them shipped to your house, shipped to a central location, pick them up yourself. Like, you don't need GameStop. You really don't. You really don't need GameStop. And if you're someone who doesn't give a shit how you get your games and you're not wedded to physical, you can just, I don't know, download them digitally. It's like this was a badly played position. And then the worst thing is that the higher up people can work from home, but the poor people were like the average workers who did all the work. Oh no, you got to come in. What type of bullshit is this, man?
Yeah. Yeah, they could have just shipped those pre-orders to people's houses. They didn't have to.
They could have, but that makes sense. Okay? That makes sense. All right.
Huh.
And this
This one-
is GameStop. They don't like making sense. All right?
Actually, they rather ruin the rep some coin than, well, follow the law.
Well, the hilarious thing about GameStop was that they were like, "Yeah, you have to argue that we're essential, that we're an essential retailer." But the thing is that, like, the hilarious thing about the argument is that, like, they went to their employees. They're like, "Well, we like basically, if you need cleaning supplies to keep your store clean." We're not going to provide it for you. You're going to have to buy it yourself, and we'll refund you the money. Most cleaning
That is
supplies are in short supply right now.
That's wrong.
Like, you can't buy them. So it's like these people are supposed to go someplace and be unsafe at work. It's bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, your own supplies when the store that you're working with are supposed to have need in order to do your beeping job.
Yeah, GameStop is kind of foul.
I mean, that's foul even at GameStop's level.
Yeah, they're kind of foul. So, that being said, anyone have any other topics they want to bring up before we wrap things up?
Huh. I got one question though. I'm not sure if you found it. Have you found any board games lately?
I mean, I have a closet full of board games, but you can't play them by yourself. You have to, have other people with you.
I know.
I'm not inviting anyone
I
into my
asked
house.
that because I was asking because if anything, I felt that you sorry for you for having a new board game and you can't play it.
Well, I don't have new board games. I have some really good old stuff, even some stuff that the boards aren't even being made anymore. But I mean, it's like I can't invite anyone to my house to play it. So what's the point?
Yeah, that's what I was going at.
Yeah. Oh well. This is why video games are a pretty cool medium, because you don't need other people to play the game.
Yeah.
You just, be by yourself and still have a good time. But
Yeah.
that's just me.
At least with that, we could show.
But anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Let's. Anyone have anything they want to pimp out before we get to sign offs and all that fun stuff?
This week you're going to be getting a little bit. You're going to get a bit of a. We're going Fridays.
Yeah, that's right. Normally we do our podcasts on Saturday, so Wednesday and Saturday. This week it's going to be Friday, and depending on what my schedule looks like, that might be the new home of the BS Busters Saturday cast will be on a Friday moving forward. So, it is what it is. Hopefully I can get my schedule moved around a little bit, because that's when they say that that the kids that I'm going to be helping will be online, so whatever. In order to get in touch with the cast, you can reach me via Gmail at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com, or at Twitter at Matthew Wesley at MrRedFox91. Anything you want to pimp out, Kenoshi?
No, nothing really.
Not your podcast, not the other podcast, nothing?
No.
Okay.
Not at the moment, not really.
All right. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. We're ending a little bit early today because, I mean, damn, there's not much really going on. Everything's on lockdown.
Anything. Remember to stay safe and beep and wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. Remember, take your bar soap. Get it. Run hot water on the bar soap. Rub your hands with the bar soap from 5 to 8 to 10 seconds until you get a good lather going. Then put down the bar soap and wash your hands. Not under the water. Get that soap all over your hands. All over your hands, okay? Then put it under the water and, wash off the suds. And then if you feel like that's enough, do it again. Wash your hands twice, okay? Also, maybe after you wash your hands once or twice, get a good hand moisturizer so your skin doesn't dry out, because soap dries out your hands, your epidermis, if you will. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, good night, and arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.